Hi angels, happy 2026, happy new year. So early January of 2025 was when I started posting here. And now we're here a year later and I'm proud of myself for continuing to do it. It's just been nice to focus on this creative project for myself and allow myself to do something that I've always wanted to try. Put my creative energy somewhere. So this has been really nice. So thank you for being here. Today we're going to talk about my 2025 favorites. I decided against doing December favorites because December was such a weird, hectic month, especially with work for me. So I wasn't discovering as many favorites as I usually do. Like I do have some stuff, but I felt like none of it was anything that like I desperately wanted to show you guys. So I figured I'm just gonna go right into my 2025 favorites. So this is my favorites from all of last year. First, we're going to talk about movies. On my list, there's only one movie that came out last year that I included in this. The rest were from years before, some even decades. So I'm just basing this off of movies that are new to me, that were my favorites for 2025. So first we have Thelma and Louise from 1991, which is fucking crazy that like it hasn't even been a full year since I watched it. I think I watched it May 2025. Instant classic, instant 5-star favorite for me. I love that movie. It got put into my top 4 on Letterboxd immediately after watching and has not left its spot since. So the fact that I haven't even loved this movie for an entire year yet, but it's made such a significant impact on me is wild. The movie is special to me for multiple reasons. One, it being primarily about the two women. It's a love story about these two women and this journey they go on, and the way that they grow and evolve over this period of time while they're dealing with something so traumatic and scary is really inspiring. And the fact that it takes place primarily through the desert in the West, or traveling to the West, that's very significant to me because so much of my childhood was spent doing these desert road trips. And I still do them today. Yeah, it means a lot to me. So that was my first favorite for sure. My second favorite was Sinners, which did come out in 2025. If you have not seen this movie yet, you need to. I knew it was gonna be a good movie going into it, and I watched it a bit later than everyone else. I knew it was gonna be good, but I was still just so amazed at how good it was. I love a good vampire story. I will say I prefer werewolves over vampires. I know that's kind of a controversial opinion, but I prefer werewolves. So vampire stories for me really have to work. That one was insane. The way it executed every single aspect of the movie was just flawless. And I love Michael B. Jordan. I love Michael B. Jordan. So there's 2 Michael B. Jordans. Big day for bisexual women. So that was another 5 stars for me. Then there's The Holdovers from 2023. I had been meaning to watch The Holdovers every Christmas season since it came out, and I just kept putting it off because I know it's one of those movies that would like hurt you and heal you at the same time. I finally decided 2025 was going to be the year I watched it, and I'm so glad I did. I did cry. I did give myself an allergic reaction from crying so hard at the end. And I did force my mom and my grandmother to watch it this Christmas season. I think we watched it on Christmas Eve. Didn't even try to have a good Christmas. I think it's definitely best to watch it during the holiday season, but you can watch it anytime if you want to. I'm not gonna stop you. So incredible. And I was so amazed at the guy who played the student. I'm forgetting his name, but I think that was his first movie, or one of his first movies, and he was fucking incredible. So that was so good. I love that movie. That's definitely become another favorite of mine, clearly. I'm going to turn to that movie during the winter season, just like I turned to Dead Poets Society in the fall season. If you love Dead Poets Society, you will love The Holdovers. And my last favorite is The Story of Adele H from 1975, which I have talked about on here. This was I think maybe November favorites. I've already talked about it on this channel, so I don't want to spend an excessive amount of time talking about it again, but it's really, really good. If you love Isabelle Adjani, if you love movies from the 70s, if you love movies about yearning, this is a really, really good one. My second category for my favorites for 2025 are my favorite songs. So I told myself I was only going to pick one song from each of the artists that I pulled, And that's why I only ended up with 2 songs, because all of my favorite songs from 2025 are from these 2 artists, and I don't want to like excessively go on about their works, but the 2 songs I mentioned are definitely the most prominent in my life. Not even just in the past year, like these are favorites for life. I love when you can tell that something's making a significant impact on you pretty much from the moment you listen to it or within the first few days of digesting it. It's just incredible. So first song comes to absolutely no surprise is Nettles by Ethel Cain. I got to hear this song live. I cried. It was beautiful. I cannot emphasize enough how much I love Nettles. It's the most beautiful, romantic, and heartbreaking song to me. I have so many songs I love by Ethel Cain, but Nettles just, it rewired my brain. Have not stopped thinking about it since it came out. My dad loves that song as well, which is special to me because I always make him listen to my music, whether or not I think he's gonna like it if we're in the car together. When he loves one of my favorite songs, that means a lot to me because he usually doesn't. I'm going to make sure that I get my Nettles tattoo this year. And my second song that I chose was Egg by Joe, which is another song that I heard live last year and I cried to. And both of those were with my best friend Sarah, so she like would take over the like filming for me while I'm just crying next to her. That song means a lot to me. That was my instant favorite off of The Crux. Other great songs on there as well, but that one immediately stood out to me. As soon as I finished listening to the album in order, I went back and put Egg on repeat, and then I basically haven't stopped. Throughout my different experiences from when the song came out to now, I've been able to relate to that song and love it in different ways, which is always such a beautiful thing to have with any type of song or movie or writing, you know, when you can love it in different stages and it still continues to mean the same amount to you, but just expressed in different ways based off of what you're going through. I love that song so much. I'm so grateful that I got to hear it live. I'm so grateful that the song exists. So Nettles and Egg, my 2 songs of 2025, and most likely this year as well. Next, we're gonna talk about purchases. So pulling my favorite purchases from this year really made me think about how many purchases I did have last year of things I like, but I would not consider to be a favorite. And I'm going to talk about this in another upcoming video, but this year I put rules on myself for buying things, specifically when it comes to clothes, because clothes shopping and fashion, that's always my vice. That's where I do the most impulse shopping. It makes me feel really good and then I feel really bad. And I have such a great handle on my style and what I like, but I'm still trying to figure out what looks best on me and how I can combine the two. This year, I'm going to be better about that, but let me show you my favorites. So I picked one clothing item, and that was my dress I got in New York from With Jean on my birthday. You've seen her before. It's this halter mini dress with a really low back. It ties at the front and you can tighten it a bit. It's listed as a chocolate brown, and it is brown, but it's also very gray. It's a gray brown, very cool toned. Love the little buckle. I bought it on my birthday, which was really nice. I knew I wanted it, and I got to wear it out with my friend Alice, which I love her so much. I love you, Alice. We had a beautiful night. We went to Hotel Chelsea. I also wore it to a concert in LA, and that was really fun. Every single time I put that dress on, I feel so sexy. I feel like the best version of myself. I feel super confident. I'm so glad I bought it. For makeup, my favorite purchase was Alone Time by MAC. 2025 was the year where I was getting back into MAC makeup. I was put off with them for a while, but they do color so beautifully that I wanted to try it again. I love this one. I'm trying to experiment more with like cool tones, and I think I finally found the direction I'm gravitating towards with shades in my makeup. I love muted, nude, beige, and brown tones. I love reddish browns and kind of like a mauve-y, nude pink, baby pink. Everything kind of leaning more towards cool, even though I know cool tones don't necessarily suit me as well. But if I can do it in the way that works for my undertones. I think it's so beautiful and just it makes me really happy. So this has been a favorite, such a beautiful shade. I'm actually wearing Fleshpot by MAC, which I also love. For shoes, we have my Monolos, my first and only pair of Monolos. I found these at a great price for the condition. I hunted for the perfect pair of Monolos because I knew I wanted to have at least one pair in my collection because they're such an iconic shoe. And I was very much deep into my Sex and the City watching era at that time, so that heavily influenced it. But I love these so much. I knew I wanted them to be brown and cream, primarily brown, and I wanted a lace-up at the front and kitten heels with an open back. And it took me weeks of searching, and then I finally found these, and the rest is history. I do not regret spending the money on them because they weren't cheap, but they definitely were not as bad as they could have been. I feel like I got a good deal. I know I'm gonna have her for years and years to come and get a lot of life out of her, and that was my main thing. So I'm so glad I have those. It means a lot to me to get a pair of like big girl shoes, especially ones that I was able to buy myself. So yeah, I'm very happy with these. Then we have my Tabby incense holder, which I think I also talked about this in my November favorites. I've talked about all of these in monthly favorites, I'm pretty sure. So you've seen all this, but that's, you know, they're favorites. My Tabby incense holder is so fucking cute and I just can't get over it. I have been trying to make my room the most gorgeous and sexy version she can be while I live in a place that I don't like. Like, I live at home with my parents and I love my family, so it's not on them, but I do not like the state that I live in, and I am unable to move for who knows how long. I'm trying to make my room like my little apartment. I've never lived by myself yet, which is kind of crazy, but I'm saving money, so like, and I love my family, like I said. So finding pieces to add to my room to make it seem like the most reflected version of myself and make it feel I'm happy to be here and not thinking about how much I wish I was somewhere else is really important to me. And you know, like, it's just so cute. I fucking love tabbies. I love tabbies. You know I love tabbies. I love incense. This, it's just, I love her. And I love supporting small artists and businesses. I love that it was handmade by someone in a studio in Brooklyn, I'm pretty sure. Like, that is so cool to have a piece of art that someone was proud of, that they made with their hands, and now it's in my home. And lastly, Miss Eve Babbitts. I love you, Eve Babbitts. I don't even think I need to explain why I love her. I mean, I already have on my channel, but if you know, you know. Okay, so next we have books. This one was admittedly kind of a hard category for me because I really struggled with reading in 2025, with reading physical books at least. I'm always doing some type of reading, sitting down and reading my books. Like, I was not up to my usual standards, and that really depressed me. So this year I'm going to make sure that I do 12 books, 1 book per month. I would love to do more. I think my big goal, like, eventually would be to do 3 books a month, but we have to start at 1 book a month. I didn't even read 10 books last year, so I could only really like pick 2 that were my favorites, and I have talked about these before. So first was Evidence, poems by Mary Oliver. I love Mary Oliver. She is one of my biggest inspirations in writing, especially with poetry. She is my favorite poet, I would say, that I've discovered so far. Her outlook is so beautiful, and I recently found out that she was a lesbian, and that is just so fucking cool. I love every single poetry book that I've read by her. I think Evidence was the only book of poetry I read from her last year. I read a poetry handbook by her, which has helped me significantly with writing and editing, and I will be applying that knowledge to editing my book this year for sure. I want to read another book of poetry by her this year. I'm trying to, like, I feel like I should do 1 Mary Oliver book per year. She has so many poetry books, and that will keep me fed. And then my second one was I Love Dick by Chris Kraus. This was a book my best friend Sarah recommended to me. I've mentioned this before, but she started reading that book when she was staying with me in like April, and seeing the way She devoured that book, was honestly very inspiring and very sexy and cool of her. And she was giving updates on the book as she read, like not exactly spoilers, but just like, holy fuck, like you need to read this every 10 pages. And it was blowing her mind, and I was like, I love that this was happening for you, queen. And then she ended up getting me a copy of the book because she figured it was up my alley, and it is. It is very much up my alley. It's about yearning. It's about this obsession that she has, and I'm a slut for yearning and obsession, whether or not it is reciprocated. That in media is just so good for me. Super incredible book. It took me a bit to read it, but that was my own issues with reading and my attention span, nothing to do with the book at all. I very much recommend this book. I gave it 5 stars like I did with Evidence. The very end of the book left me reeling. I still think about it all the time. So even though I didn't read as much as I wanted to last year, I'm glad that I was able to walk away with a few truly banger books that like I did finish and that have made an impact on me as a person and my interests. And lastly, I wanted to do a category for memories or just kind of like moments that meant a lot to me. All of these are with loved ones as well, which definitely played a big part of it. My first one was meeting deer. Deer is my favorite animal. It was my first time ever seeing deer in real life. I thought I was going to cry. I somehow did not. But getting to pet them and feed them and just exist near them, it really just made me so grateful that we live in a world with deer. And I'm not saying that, like, I am 1000% serious when I say that. Truly reignited how much I love animals, how much I love this world. Even when things are very shitty and awful, it feels claustrophobic being here sometimes, but things like that just really remind you how beautiful the natural world is and how much things can mean to you. And they're so fucking cute. There's one deer with curly fur that was like besties with me. I love her. I'm definitely going to want to go visit again, but I'm so glad I got to meet deer and see them. We have New York, and I'm just encapsulating all of my time in New York into one because there's so many good memories of being in New York with my best friend, from staying in at her place and hanging out in her basement all day while we watch movies on her ginormous TV and she makes me white rice and soy sauce, to when we actually go out and do things. Just being there, I feel so good. A lot of it is because I am with my best friend, but also it's just such a beautiful, fun, exciting place. I love being in New York. I'm always itching to go back. Just every single thing that I got to do there with my best friend, going to Joe and Ethel Cain concerts together, going out to dinner at my favorite restaurant there, finding bars and pubs, going shopping, just walking around, taking pictures, getting tattooed. So much of it is so nice and so good, and I am so excited to go back this year. That one kind of segues into my last one, which is concerts with friends. I have never been to so many concerts in a year than I did in 2025. I have a lot of anxiety at concerts. I have to take Xanax to get through it, and it doesn't matter how excited I am for the artist and how much I love the music. I am going to be anxious. It is a very high anxiety event for me. Not as bad as flying, but it's up there. So it's something that I have to really want to go to be able to push through that anxiety, where I will feel worse if I don't go than if I do. So knowing that 2025 was a year where a lot of artists that I connect with their work very deeply and enjoy their art so much, they were all touring. It was bad for my wallet, but it was great for me to break out of my comfort zone, and I got to do them all with my closest friends. I got to see Joe and Ethel Cain with Sarah, and then my dear sweet friend Becky. We went to Chapel Roan, and that was my first time seeing all 3 of those artists last year. First time seeing Chapel, first time seeing Joe, first time seeing Ethel. Loved every single one. It all meant so much to me to hear songs that I love live and get to really be in it and experience that with people that I love. I had a good year of music for 2025. That wraps up my 2025 favorites list. I hope you angels enjoyed. Happy 2026. I hope this year is beautiful to you, and I hope you stay safe as well. And I will see you next Thursday. Bye.